welcome to Thursdays with Annette. I'm so glad you're joining me today because I've got my apron on, I'm ready to cook, and today we're making a recipe out of the fabulous book 3. Here we go, book 3, and it's going to be the chicken and spinach lasagna. I mean, who doesn't love a lasagna? Well, this is a different way to do lasagna. So I thought, I could have made you the traditional bolognese one, but no, let's do something a little bit fizzy fabulous. So that's what we're doing today. So before we start though, I've got 3 fabulous ladies who won book 3, personally signed from last week's show with the hummingbird cake. And that was Renee Mengel, Christine Martin and Sue Hahn. All were winners. And of course, there will be a prize at the end of the show. So let's look at the ingredients we need to make the lasagna. So straight up, I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees fan force, so it's all ready for me. We're going to use some cooking spray, and I'm using my new fabulous NeoFlam fry pans, and because they're special, you need to use the rice bran spray because that will help protect really good quality pans. That's what you need. I'm going to use 600 grams of skinless chicken breast, and I've diced them already because we've got a lot to do on the show today. We've also got a cup of pre-diced onion. You know what you want fine, and you also want to do the chicken in bite-sized pieces, not big chunks. We've got a teaspoon of garlic. Now I'm using my normal little jar, but you can use fresh. So then we're also going to have in there 250 grams of the low-fat cottage cheese. You wait to see what happens to this. Then we've got our packet of frozen spinach, which is a 250 gram. Then we've also got 4 sachets we're using of the cream of chicken, and that's the continental cup of soup. A tablespoon of Floralite margarine, 2 tablespoons of plain flour, 2 cups of skim milk, 1/4 teaspoon of tarragon. Now, if you don't have tarragon, I love tarragon with chicken. It's just fabulous. It's also nice with seafood. But if you don't, just put basil or oregano. Just 1/4 teaspoon. Also, we've got the lasagna sheets. So we've got the large lasagna sheets. We want 6 of those because this lasagna serves 8 people. And also you have 1/2 cup of freshly grated low-fat cheese. All right, so I'm going to start cooking the chicky first and get that going, and then we're going to continue on and make the different layers and that. So let me fire up my pan. Now this is an easy recipe. It's just, with anything like lasagna, you do it in layers. So, you know, we're going to make the chicken filling, and then we're going to make the spinach cheese filling, and then we're going to, oh look, there's lots of things happening today, it's so fabulous. But you know what I'm so excited about? I can't begin to tell you because we've only got 4 days left of the new winter weight loss challenge. It starts on Monday, so you've still got time to sign up. So what are you waiting for? It's fabulous. I mean, everyone's really looking forward to it because, you know, after the corona thing and winter and that, you know, if you've packed on a couple of kilos, this challenge will really help you. And it's only for 6 weeks, you know what I mean? I think we can do most things in 6 weeks, don't you reckon? And so that's why I like it. I don't want to make it too long because that way we go, right, I'm committed to 6 weeks, I'm going to make this happen. And you ought to see the menu plans. They are so fabulous. They're all new, and there's treats in there. There's beautiful recipes out of the cookbooks, and you get all the recipes anyway. You don't need the cookbooks if you haven't got them. But look, I can't begin to tell you how fabulous it is. You get my support, so what more do you want? So anyway, that's happening on Monday. So remember, 4 days you've got to sign up. All right, so we've put in the garlic, put in the onion, and now let's put our chicken in. Just drop it in as you go. Now we're using skinless chicken breast. So hello, if you've just joined me, you go, what's Annette got in her fry pan? What's going on? Well, I'm making for you today the chicken and spinach lasagna. It's out of book 3. And I don't know about you guys, but I do love a good lasagna. I really do. So there we go. We're putting in 600 grams of the small diced chicken. You don't want big pieces because it'll be too awkward with the lasagna. I'm just going to wash my little chicky fingers. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be ambidextrous, is that the right wording? Because I'm going to do a couple of things at once. And I'm sorry, but women, we can do that. sorry, Billy. I know, we won't start. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make the cheesy spinach filling, because it's layer upon layer of fabulous. And as we're doing this, I'm going to be tossing the chicken, but I'm also going to, before I start, I like to warm the milk up because we're going to make a white sauce or a chicken sauce to go with it. So if you're going to do this today or whenever, just put your milk in. It's 2 cups of skim milk. I'm just going to put it in for 2 minutes just to warm it up, and I find that really helps with a white sauce. All right, so we're going to put in now 250 grams of cottage cheese. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a fan of cottage cheese. You know, it looks like baby chuck. I'm sorry, I'm going to call it. I mean, you know, it's just revolting. But I know people love it, and I'm not judging you for it. But I remember when I discovered this technique, and I was wanting to make a cheesecake, and I thought, oh, I'll put cottage cheese in because, you know, it's better than putting lots of cream cheese in. And I thought, but I don't want that texture. That won't work. So I did just what I'm going to show you now. Look, I'm just turning that chicken and onion and garlic. That's cooking beautifully in the pan. Leave that there. But I'm sorry, let's create magic today. Here on Thursdays with Annette. Get your little stick or a food processor. And in we go. What happens to the cottage cheese is that it becomes this white, creamy looking mix. I know, doesn't look anything like normal cottage cheese. It only takes like a minute to do it. There we go, done. Now, I've got to say, my little Barmex, I've had it 100 years. Everything's 100 years in my life at the moment. But it's just kept going. You know, it just keeps on going. It's great. So just carefully your blades. There we go. Let me get rid of the Barmex. So that's done. Just wash my hands. Chicken's doing really well. See, we've got the chicken going, the onion, the garlic. You pretty well do this till it's nearly cooked. My milk's just beeping at me, so that's great. But now I want to show you something really important as part of this recipe. So I want you taking notes here. I want you focusing. I want you to see what I'm talking about. Now, it's the spinach. I've never used fresh spinach in it because I find this is just a special portion out, and I wouldn't have a clue what it would be in weight if you did normal spinach. So what I want to show you is I'm going to put the 250 grams in. Now you defrost it first, and it's chopped spinach, okay? That's that one. And what you do now is you've got to get all the water out. Look at this. Look at how much water you get out of the frozen spinach. Who knew? So I'm just squeezing it out. And that's looking pretty good. So now look at all that water. We don't want that. You just now put in the spinach. It's all lovely and not really wet like it would have been if you did it that way. Let me get rid of this, and then we're going to mix it up. That's how you do the filling. Now, how are we going with our chicken? I think it's pretty good. A little bit longer. And then next what we're going to do is make the sauce that goes with the chicken. But here we go. Look how creamy. Look how creamy that is. Come and zoom in, Bill. This is fabulous. Look how beautiful and creamy that mix is. You would never think that it's cottage cheese in there, would you? No. It's already done. All right, so we've got our cottage cheese done. Our cooked chicken is done. So I'm going to now put this over here because we don't need that right now. I'll just leave that out of the way. Actually, I'll move it over here. Now, we're going to make the beautiful sauce, if you want. That would be a sauce, wouldn't it? White sauce. So, I'll get my milk out of the microwave. So you've got a little tip there. Remember, squeeze that spinach, blend up your cottage cheese, warm up your milk, easy peasy, Japanesey. All right, so we're going to put in the margarine, melt that. Oh, I like to get all that out. So you want a tablespoon of margarine. And then, once that margarine's melted, this is going to make a roux. And you put in the flour. So straight in goes the plain flour. Now you mix that together for just a little bit to let that flour combine with the margarine. You're best to use a whisk for this part. I hope you're enjoying the shows. I'm having such fun with you guys. Tuesdays and Thursdays, and if you have just joined me, you're a little late, Dale, but that's okay because I'm making chicken and spinach lasagna. I know, fabulous. Now, put in about that much. Beating, beating, whisking, whisking, whisking. Keep going now. It happens much quicker because you're not putting cold milk in. See, so this is, if you didn't watch today, you would have missed this tip. And it'll really help you when you're making any white sauces from now on. All right. So I'm just going to mix that in. Fabulous. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put in the tarragon. It is, do you remember? 1/4 of a teaspoon. And if you missed it before as well, if you don't have tarragon, basil or oregano will do. I love the tarragon with it though. Mix that in. Now we're going to do the 4 sachets of soup. So I'm going to just cut the top off these. Originally, back in the day, this recipe was using a sachet, a full big sachet, soup chicken sachet. But the sodium or salt is just so much higher that I had to change it. So in goes 4 packets. Mixing that up. Yep. Make sure you get all of it in there. I'm such a messy cook. It's because I'm trying to be quick here. All right. Now I've got everything in there for that. So what I'm going to do now is turn that down. It's bubbling away something fierce. Let me just show you. Can I show you? There's the sauce. Can you see? Now what we're going to do is in goes the chicken. So that's the garlic, the onion and the chicken all going in. So it's not a hard recipe, it's just, you know, it's layer upon layer. And now, mixing that through. And now, we're ready to assemble. You know, the thing is, I have got 7 lasagnas. Yes, you can tell. I think I've got a bit of Italian in me. Because with lasagna, I just never get enough of it. Now, in book 1, you've got the traditional lasagna, you know, with the bolognese sort of tomato base. So you've got that. Also in book 1, you've got one of my real favourites is the vegetable lasagna, which is fabulous. You've also got in book 3, of course, the chicken spinach lasagna, what we're making today. You've got the gourmet seafood lasagna, which is a bit fizzy fabulous in book 4. Book 5 has got potato lasagna, just a bit different instead of doing the pasta sheets. And in book 6, you've got chicken and vegetable lasagna. And book 7's got beef and mushroom lasagna. And in Cooking for One or Two, what I did is, like, the lasagna serves 8, like the traditional one, the book 1. I made that into, instead of serves 8, serves 2. I know. How good is that? All right, so let's get our 6 sheets out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I wanted to have that box there for you so you could see what I actually used with the spinach as well as that. All we've got to do now is create magic. I know. All right, so let's do it. 2 sheets of lasagna. Boom. Okay? Done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use half of this beautiful chicken mixture on the first layer. So let's just put that in.
Someone asked, can you use fresh tarragon and how much?
Yes, fresh tarragon, if you've got it, yes, it would be lovely in it. The thing is, I'd probably want to do maybe at least a teaspoon, whereas we only did 1/4 of the teaspoon for the dried tarragon, because dried herbs are much stronger because they're dried. So you would use a bit more, I think, than the 1/4 teaspoon, so maybe a teaspoon. Now, we're going to put another layer. Got it? Then we'd put our beautiful spinach mix in the middle. So it looks great with that green going on in the middle. It's fantastic. All right. Now I'm going to get a spoon and a fork. Let me move this out of the way. And what you do is you spread it out. So this is your middle layer. And it's only 5.6 grams of fat for a serve of this fabulous lasagna. So how good is that? I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? You've got guilt-free lasagnas coming everywhere. I mean, with those 7, you're covered. And I love them for this time of the year because they're just so hearty. All right. We happy with that? I think we are. Now, final 2 sheets done, and then we just put the chicken, the remainder of the chicken, on the layer, the top layer. Let me just scrape all of this fabulousness out of my pot. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. You can really smell the chicken. I think the chicken soup really does give it a lot of flavour as well. And we like that. I don't believe that low-fat, healthy food needs to be bland or boring. Oh no, Annette Sym does not do bland and boring. That is for sure. All right, there is chicken lasagna, book 3, looking fabulous. Now, last thing, get your fresh cheese, your grated cheese, over the top. Remember, we've preheated the oven already. It's 180 degrees. It's all ready to go. Now, the other little trick that I found as well is I want to cover it with foil, and it tells you everything in the recipe, okay? So if you're thinking, geez, I'm not going to remember all of this and it's done, it's all there in the recipe. But let me show you what I discovered is really helpful, because I don't want that cheese sticking on this. I want it in my mouth. So I just do a spray of that. And that way, you don't get it all sticking to the foil and lose all that cheese. All right, so now we're going to go in the oven. Let me open my door. There we go. 180 degrees for 40 minutes. Let's get the timer, 40 minutes. Then what you're going to do is you're going to, when it beeps, get in there, take the foil off, and cook it for about another 15 minutes or until it's like, you know, nice and brown on the top. So that is chicken spinach lasagna. I know. Now, if you want to win book 3, all you've got to do is like, share, and in the comments, you know what you've got to do on a Thursday with Annette, it's hashtag Symply2Good, and you'll go in the draw to win a prize, which is fabulous. Now, let me show you. I did make one because I always love to show you the finished result because you know you want to see it. Look, hello. Yes, there it is. That is my chicken spinach lasagna. Now, next week's show. Now, we do 2 shows a week. I hope you're watching. Tuesday with Annette is Home Ec with Annette, and I'm making sticky pork chops. It is such a simple recipe, but I want to show you how to do it because I think it'll be one of your top go-tos. And I know Diane is obsessed with it, so I thought we'd honour her on Tuesday with Annette. Then next Thursday, I'm going into a classic that I'm going to show you how to do. It's a quick and easy potato bake out of book 6. Now, traditional potato bake, which is in one of the other books, I think it's book 2, takes ages to cook. No, let me show you quick and easy potato bake next Thursday. It'll be fabulous. Now, if you want any more tips or recipes or ideas, you go to simplytoogood.com.au. That's where you'll also go in and you do simplytoogood membership. I'll get it right one day. And you'll find out all about my new weight loss winter challenge that I want you to be a part of. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you whip up a storm with your beautiful lasagna, and I'll catch you on Tuesday. Bye now.